Thank you, Steve. Yes, I'm still awake. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you and see you.
Right.
We can see
Okay.
your screen.
Right. That's good. Well, this is about the shift from face-to-face teaching to e-learning, as you can see, and it's collaborative work with Charlene Forbes, who's retired from Stats New Zealand, and myself here in Dunedin at the University of Otago. So it's kind of collaboration between the Statistics New Zealand and academics. And the primary aim, of course, is to upskill government employees. And that has resulted in several products: a certificate in official statistics for policy advisors and an honours paper in official statistics for statistical advisors who generate official statistics. So as you can see, there are two very different groups of people here. The policy advisors and those who generate the statistics. Now, these two programs that we have had in New Zealand for some time have led to further collaborations, namely the development of the web apps with Plymouth University in the UK, and also the development of content for UNITAR, an e-learning course, and I'll talk about that shortly. Let me just very, very quickly talk about the Certificate of Official Statistics. I've identified it as face-to-face because I want to contrast that with e-learning in a moment. It's classroom teaching in New Zealand and the South Pacific between 2007 and 17. That course is not offered now. However, the honours course in official statistics has been developed. It's also face-to-face, and I'll talk about that in a little more detail. The web apps I'm really interested in, and I'll talk about those, and I'll also tell you about the UNITAR course. So the target content. We obviously try to target the content to the needs of the learners. We try to set it in the real world with case studies and stories, obviously. We emphasize conceptual understanding rather than mathematical, as a matter of fact. I'll talk about that shortly also. We want to focus on the quality of data, and we want to explore variation, patterns, and stories in data. We avoid recreating material that is freely available, and you will see we use YouTube videos and various other products. And then we also want to have an international perspective. Very, very quickly, the Certificate of Official Statistics, the target audience are the government policy advisors, often with limited mathematics, and the emphasis is on concepts rather than mathematics. The focus, the development of statistical literacy skills when using or interpreting official statistics. It's roughly equivalent to what we would call a first-year course at university. It's competency-based over 18 months, and participation is from people in New Zealand over those years and from the Pacific Islands, named Fiji, Tonga, and Vanuatu, and so on. We've had just under 300 learners in total, and 40% of these are from National Statistics offices. Now, the certificate, the content, official statistics releases, obviously household labour force, household economics and retail trade publications, other public sector surveys, New Zealand health and Maori language surveys, children, women and men and disabilities, all reports that come from Statistics New Zealand. And we're very interested in what the data says. There's a certain amount of research and evaluation reports. And then of course, you will notice we also discuss media articles. Now we want to contrast that with the postgraduate course, the postgraduate honours course in official statistics. Now this one has been developed between Statistics New Zealand and 5 of our 6 New Zealand universities. It's uneconomic for any one of these individual universities in New Zealand, where we have smaller numbers of students, for them to offer some of these specialised courses. And so we link the universities. We have video conferencing network linking the universities that is used. The students can see the lecturer and other students. They can view PowerPoints and ask questions. It allows the academics or the experts in key areas of official statistics to teach the students at participating universities in one class. There are 12 two-hour lectures, video recorded and placed on the course website. There is no examination, but there are 5 major assignments submitted electronically for marking. And we usually have between 30 and 50 students each year from 6 of the 8, actually, New Zealand universities. So that's a higher level course, and obviously is taken with other subjects in mathematics. And of course, it's going to lead to the people who will be developing the statistical methodology, that second group of people that I talked about at the beginning. Topics covered, roughly the underlying principles: administrative data, survey data, demography, health statistics with those nominated topics, data visualization, GIS, and data matching. And actually we could add data confidentiality here as well. Now, the interesting issue is that we wanted to move into a different area. So beginning in 2013, we had a joint project between New Zealand academics and staff from the Royal Statistical Society Centre for Statistics Education at Plymouth University in the UK. We actually were able to bring 2 people, Neville Davies was one, and Dominic McInerney, who was a web designer. We brought them out to Dunedin here, and we worked with them over about 2 months and developed these products. Essentially, these products use the material from the previous 2 courses that I mentioned. So from the certificate on official statistics and the honours program. And we wanted this to be online learning. We wanted tools that were available on a variety of IT platforms, the PCs, laptops, tablets, and so on. We wanted to link to, rather than recreate, good material. This was important. We wanted to make full use of existing materials and build them into this program. We provide interactive content, including questions, tests, animation, and so on. And we have international applicability, e.g. for Africa and the South Pacific. Now, I will give you a bit of an idea what the final product is like. 3 web apps were developed, and these have been released internationally, and I will tell you how well they're being used at the moment. I'm sorry that there is a 1 there appears to be occurring twice. There are actually 3 of them. So the first of these, oh, by the way, they are hosted on the International Statistical Literacy Project website, where anyone can access these freely. The first one is measuring price change, and obviously you see there's the focus on the CPI, working with price indices, change of base, and so on. Then comparing populations over time, between countries, between groups, including aspects of demography such as fertility, mortality, migration, life tables, population pyramids, age standardization, and odds ratio. And the link is given there. The third one is using Excel. And we've discovered that there's a huge use of Excel. And we had a program. We have this website developed which has a voiceover and tells people how to present the data, giving instructions for the creation of simple graphs, including box plots and population pyramids and so on. So there are 3 apps there. This is what they look like. Now, I wanted just to show you this because you will see that it can be looked at on the smartphone over on the right, or in the laptop there, or mainframe on the left. The note of the following, down the left-hand side, and if I sort of point to this here, down the left-hand side, there is a set of entries there which can be selected, and they have discussion of the various topics. On the right-hand side, over here, is where there is all of the assessment built in. Now, this is either interactive or it can be used for assessment. You won't be able to read that writing, but these, as I say, are freely available and anyone could see these. So the structure of these, it's important at the top here, the concepts are on the left, and that may include videos. For example, Hans Rosling may be sitting in there and various other items from national statistics offices. A lot of information is down there, and over here is the assessment. So concepts on the left, examples on the right, and that gives you the structure of the two devices that can be used. Obviously, this one is much easier to use. That is what the data looks like. So you can get quite big data sets in here. I won't, it goes without saying. This emphasizes some of the things, and you won't be able to see that wording. I won't read it, but again, you've got this concept of, this is the comparing populations down here, and over here is the assessment. And this one here, you can see it's a slide on measuring price change. You won't be able to see that, and it's not worthwhile going through the detail, but you can access it easily. What is important here, however, is what we've got over here on the right, because these are the interactive exercises which we have set up. And we've got two exercises showing here. You won't be able to see the wording of these, but you will notice the word correctors here. Data are given, and then the students have to go through a particular calculation and get an answer using the methodologies that are explained in here or talked about over here on the left. And if they get the right answer, they're told they're correct. But if they get the wrong answer, they have to try again. Then they might try a second time, and then it might lead to a third time. And if they have that wrong, the answer is shown to them automatically. So this is quite clever down here. And we made full use of the web designers, our local ones here in Dunedin, and those who came over from the United Kingdom. So that's a nice feature. And just to give you some idea with these web apps, between November 2017 and February 2021, the measuring price change has now been used by 14,872 people internationally, realizing these are on the internet, the ISLP website. Comparing populations has had 10,534, and Graphic in Excel has had 15,257. And they're running through at about 1,000 per month at the moment, actually, so they're being well used. I've put in this note about the Indian connection. I've got a personal reason for putting that there, because Charlene Forbes and I were, through the International Statistics, the ISI, we were asked to provide assistance to the Indian Statistics Association in Calcutta, because they wanted to refresh their program. So all of those things that we've just looked at, we, along with others, we built into the program. And what they do in India, they take people from developing countries all around the world, and they take them to Calcutta and they give them training. And the Indian government views this as an important foreign aid project. So we were asked, and we joined the committee designing the program there. And about these web apps and the other things that I've shown you about our postgraduate course, I had a meeting at the World Statistics Congress in Kuala Lumpur with the secretary of the Indian Statistics Association, and I went over all of these things, and they have returned very positive results. Although I have to say, because of COVID, it is postponed for this year, but hopefully next year it will be offered again. So that's the use of those web apps in one country and how they're using it in India. The other one I wanted to talk about is with the United Nations Institute for Teaching and Research, and this is an e-learning course. And Charlene Forbes and I were asked to submit a contract to UNITAR to join in and help them or provide information that they could use in constructing modules that they could use in United Nations offices around the world, and also in official statistics offices. And they made several requests, and you'll notice there's the talk about the sustainability development goals, because we were instructed that every case study that we produced, we had to identify one of those 17 sustainability goals. That gives you an idea. It's a bit of a mess, obviously, but this is what we called upon in structuring the suggestions for UNITAR. You'll see the Certificate of Official Statistics, the honours course, the web apps are mentioned there. We've also got here at Otago about 30 videos on applications of statistics, which have had probably 100,000, well, it's a very large number of individual hits at the moment. National Statistics Office data, survey and research papers. There's a topic there that you can read about concerning Nobel Prize winners, and online tools data, and so on. Gapminder and the World Health Organization data are also built in to this program. The other request we had in making suggestions here, our case studies, it was requested that we place a concentration on case studies from the African continent. So we reuse, as you see at the top, as much material as possible. The UNITAR course, Understanding Data and Statistics for Better Sustainability Development Goals. That was the main drive, and they were very, very keen that we concentrate on that. There is a link. There were over 800 students taking this, many from Africa and Asia. The course content for that, Module 1, Statistical Literacy, Module 2, and these were developed from material that we sent to Calcutta, and they developed these there, interpreting and assessing the fitness for purpose of data, communicating with data, data sources for the SDG indicators, policy formulation, and final assessment. Now, I've shown this is one of the case studies that we used, and this person was a statistician who visited our department here from America, and she had a very interesting data set from the World Health Organization on rotavirus. And we used what she did. She always, from America, took a group of her students to the World Health Organization and gave them access to certain data through the World Health Organization, and then these students took it back home and analyzed it. So there is a video there, and if you go into this, this is freely available on our website at Otago. The big issues, obviously, data, and data. You can get too little. The rotavirus was an interesting case study because it tended not to look internationally, but it looked mainly at Africa, so perhaps there was too little data. Of course, rotavirus is a nasty condition that causes young children to die. The Gates Foundation has given many millions of dollars actually to develop a vaccine for rotavirus. Sometimes there was too much data, like for climate data, and so on. Assessment was built into this. It was both formative and summative. So there were assessments built in, no examination, but there were other ways of doing it. Successes, multidisciplinary cooperative team. And this is for all of these products is interesting because we've had teams of people who have worked together to develop these resources for using. Like, for example, with the web apps, Neville Davies and Dominic Metagnetti flew out here to Dunedin and helped us, worked with us to develop that program. The first two, it was academics who worked with Statistics New Zealand for both of those. And UNITAR, it's people giving to the statisticians in Geneva material that they could use. Common threads. Now, these are just some of the underlying, I've just got a few of these, I won't go on for too long.
Yeah, John, if we can start to wrap it up, that'll be great, thanks.
I'll wrap it up. One, educational philosophy. We want to give learners just enough to interpret their own situations. UNITAR emphasizes data interpretation, presentation, and communication. Big important point, there's actually less mathematics in these, more concepts and statistical literacy. The second thread, resources and reuse of material, full use of government agency reports, research publications, material and software on the internet. Use of visual tools, e-learning allowed integration into the teaching. We had videos, e.g. the rotavirus, which led to the good health and well-being sustainability category. Maui dolphin uncovering a new species, dealt with life below water, SDG 14. We had 30 videos, link on the International Statistical Literacy Project from the University of Otago, and we've had 3,000 hits in 3 years, all free. Common threads, number 4, collaborative teams, that's important, teamwork to develop each of these. UNITAR had specialist course designer and an international spread case studies from Africa was sought. Conclusions. There are internationalization benefits, keeping material up to date. That's actually very important because you see the danger with, for example, the videos is they can be dated. And as a matter of fact, right at the moment, I've been developing a further video on the use of dogs here in New Zealand to identify prostate, bowel, and cervical cancer. And this is going very well. We've got proof of concept, and we have also been able to explain the issues like sensitivity and specificity and false negatives and positives. This is actually going to go through a major clinical trial very soon, and it seems to be more successful than the issues overseas with dogs to identify COVID. Basically, we have been trying to replace paper-based programs by e-learning, and e-learning is of particular benefit during COVID-19 in any teaching, especially the courses that we had here at the University of Otago. So that is it. That's what we have been doing. And all of I haven't given the references, they're all there and all will be available for anyone who wants to see them.